Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the channel, Shelly's Millions. In today's video, just like usual, we'll talk about finance, budget, money. Since I work at a movie theater, we'll give you a quick update on the top films this past weekend. And then I also want to talk about the jobs report, but more specifically, I want to talk about why I don't usually talk about the jobs report. And that is that I I mean, of course, you should live outside your bubble, right? But I don't need the jobs report to tell me that the jobs situation isn't good. So, here in California, when someone that I know had their place of business shut down, one, it took a really long time for them to find a new job. And then, even once they did find a new job, it pays about $8 less than she was making. She was a general manager doing a great job. The place where she worked closed down, so it wasn't like her performance wasn't great, it wasn't any of that. It was that her business that she was working at closed, she had to find another job, and in today's market, that paid $8 less. Her partner is picking up the financial slack of that, but it's really difficult. And then, hi, Michael. Good morning. It has been a little while. Always good to see you. Um, and then just lots of people that I know starting with companies not getting raises after 90 days, a year, just kind of staying at the same rate that you're hired at. And I know some jobs that's common anyway, that you just start at one rate and that's where you are until your title changes. I don't know what's going on with my hair today. But anyway, um so just things like that, people that are out of work for way longer. I have another friend that I know personally. They were let go 2 weeks before Christmas, and they're still looking for work. So, I think especially during the pandemic, everybody was so anxious to have anybody that would go to work, and it just it's not like that right now. And so I don't need a jobs report to tell me that. And then even my friend, I mentioned that my friend was in the hospital recently, and all the nurses there, they're not like most of them are not native. They're not from California. They don't live in California. They're traveling nurses. They're having trouble staffing the hospitals. Traveling nurses make more, but it seems to me like they're taking up wages that we could just pay for somebody that lived in California if somebody that lived in California wanted to do the jobs, but they don't want to. I'm not making that sound right. We have a shortage of nurses, right? Because nurses um are not paid enough for what they do either, right? So anyway, let's look at the EDD, California unemployment website, and see what they're saying about the jobs report. And I think more importantly, some of the numbers, like they were like, no, everything's fine. But some of the numbers are being revised and it's way worse. Also, this has always been true that the jobs report does not take into effect or account um, people who are underemployed. That's going to be people who um, like in my friend's case, is making $8 less than an hour than they previously were. That's people that are not work they have a job, but they wanna be working like 35 to 40 hours a week, and maybe they're only working 20 to 30 hours a week. So, it's all of those. And also, I don't like to blend, my personal line of work with the channel really, but I will say that the writers' strike, hi, Cindy, the caliber of employees that we're getting that are applying for an entry level job, like just to sell the popcorn, it's really high. And I just want to say we do not have the mentality, oh, you're overqualified. We are so happy to get really hardworking people into our establishment and applying for the jobs, but typically, like, a movie theater is a great starting job for, like, somebody who's, just getting out of high school, who's still attending college. And the quality of applicants that we're getting are people with established careers. They're writers, they're production assistants, they're in the movie industry, but the movie industry has really dried up in California. And so that's shifting things as well. Like normally you wouldn't necessarily see that many people with such high qualifications applying for entry level jobs. So at least personally, like, I don't need the jobs report to tell me things are bad, right? And we don't ask, I think it's illegal to ask what someone previously made. So we don't ask that, during our interviews or anything. But I'd have to imagine that some of the people were probably making quite a bit more at their previous jobs than they are at an entry level position at a movie theater. I hope I didn't say anything. I don't think I said anything bad, but, that's kind of like the reality of where we are right now. So, and I think you guys know that I was talking about with the fast food minimum wage going up to $20 here in California. I was like, maybe I would like a second job, right? $20 an hour is pretty good. Where are the movie business? I don't know. So there were like I don't, because I'm on the other side of it, right? After the movies are finished, I don't think it's because they have talked about, oh, the cost of doing business is too much in California and all of that. I don't, there's been some strikes, right? A lot of the movie business, the industry is unionized. And so the workers can't work until the union contracts are finalized. I think that's what's happening. And so there just hasn't been as much work here in California. I don't think it's like going somewhere else as much as it wasn't going. It's starting to again now, but for a long while it wasn't. Um, so yeah. Okay. That seems like a good segment. I normally share what the top 10 movies were for the week. Let's actually share my screen. Da, 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 da. And we'll look at the top 10 movies this week, or the top 5. We'll probably look at the top 10. It was a surprise to me, the top 10 movies this week. And let me know if you guys watch movies, if you're gonna see almost all of the movie theater chains now, they do pretty good discounts on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Um, Out here, at least Thursdays are the new Friday, so people come out a lot on Friday, to watch movies. And then Saturday and Sunday are always big movie days as well. So not as good a discounts on the weekends, but if you go on like a Tuesday, Wednesday, almost at any chain, they're going to offer you a pretty good discount if you go on those days, making it more affordable, which is one of the, biggest things I hear is that people can't afford to go to the movies anymore. Try a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Okay. The numbers. Okay, so this is the weekend chart for the top 10 movies. So it was the Fantastic Four, then The Bad Guys 2, which I actually really wanna see. I saw the first one at home, and then, I would like to see that one. It's not playing in any of the theaters that I work at, so I might not be able to. Then The Naked Gun. My mom and I started to watch the first one in that series, but I don't think it's aged well. But I think people have been really hungry for a comedy. So The Naked Gun, then Superman, which my mom and I recently saw, Jurassic World Rebirth, Together. Debbie, that one might be for you. That one is a body horror type movie. Um, then F1 the movie, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Smurfs, and How to Train Your Dragon. So definitely like a lot of um like kids movies since they're not back in school yet. Okay. Hi Richard, glad to see you in here. Okay. Let's pull up the EDD website and look at the jobs report in California. Well, it's just EDD dot. Let's go here. edd.ca.gov. This has been a long time since I've been on this website. And we're going to go to forms and publications. Oh, nope. Find a job in EDD news. Let's do that one. Helpful links. I started to open it and read it just like I used to do, but where's just like the... Okay, June unemployment rate. That looks like the most recent one that we have for California. California's June unemployment rate changed slightly to 5.4%. So this is kind of the chart. June of 2024, so a year ago, it was at 5.3. May, so the last month that we have data for would be May, and that was at 5.3. Then June, 5.4. Okay, and it's saying that employers shed 6,100 jobs in June, just in California. California's unemployment rate increased slightly to 5.4%, and California's non-farm payroll jobs decreased by 6,100 jobs in June of 2025, according to the latest Employment Development Department EDD data that comes from two separate surveys. June's job decrease followed a revised lower job gain of 11,700 for May of 2025. Okay, then I like to kind of look at these charts. So this is good. So private education and health services, we added 9,900 jobs, and that industry is up 163,400 jobs for the year. Leisure and hospitality, so up 4,300 jobs and only 2,700 jobs for the year over year. Construction in June up 3,800, but down for the year at almost 10,000 jobs lost. Government jobs 3,100. Year over year, the government jobs are up 53,100. That's pretty good. No mining and logging jobs, and 500 of those jobs were lost. Financial activities. That's interesting. 100 jobs lost this month, and then 17,000 jobs lost in that industry this year. Oh, and I have another friend that's in that industry. They've lost their job. I'm not sure what they're doing currently. Other services, this is showing like a wrench and hair trimming scissors and a broom, down 100 jobs for the month, but up 4,100 jobs for the year. Trade, transportation, and utilities, it's down in the month of June, 4,600, but up for the year at 1,500. Information, down 6,100 for the month, down 12,500 for the year. Manufacturing, down 6,400, and down almost 38,000 for the year. And then professional and business services, down almost 10,000 for the month and down 46,000 for the year. So a lot of jobs lost. And then I don't know where the study is that I saw. But basically, okay, so we've got the whole California labor force by place of residence, including workers involved in trade disputes. So the civilian labor force for California is 19,840,800. And then this looks like the total civilian employment is 18,770,800, and those on unemployment are 1,070,000. And what's interesting about these numbers, right, is that I had heard that because of everybody like turning 18 like this year, or graduating high school and wanting summer work, people entering the labor force, you need to have X number of jobs just to supply the people entering the workforce with new jobs. And I'm not sure this number over here, even though like you can look at it and be like, wow, that's great. California has gained almost 200,000 jobs for the year. But is it really that great if it's not keeping up with just the number of jobs needed to give a job to the people entering the workforce? Let's see if we can find that. I'm just going to look at the state of California for now. How many jobs are needed for people entering the workforce in CA each year? Okay, remember that number. We've got 181,800 jobs is what we have. And this is okay, this is the AI overview. Detailed annual projections for the exact number of jobs needed for people entering the workforce are not readily available in the provided search results. However, the existing information can be used to understand general trends and the size of the labor force. Okay. California's labor force has grown by 137,000 workers since January, which is faster than Texas, the next fastest growing labor market. So, to me, that's saying like that it's grown by 137 and we only added like 180,000 jobs. So, the state added 33,000 potential workers in the past month. And in June of 2025, the labor force reached 19.84 million, representing a 0.17 increase from the previous month and a 0.92% increase from 1 year ago. The growth indicates a need for a substantial number of jobs to accommodate new and existing workers. While a precise annual figure is unavailable, the data suggests a continuously expanding workforce in California, which creates a demand for new job opportunities. Okay, so that's what it's saying. The AI dive on jobs. So, what just happened? Okay, Cindy says, "You'd like me to do a show of when I retire, I would live in state, county. I've retired, but we will move when my husband retires." Okay. Thailand is somewhere there's been a lot of uh post recently about it, the cost of living being pretty low there. And I'm not that far from retirement. I should start looking into that for myself as well. But let's just pull it up. Best states to retire in. Do we want to look to retire in for taxes? No, let's just look in general and see what comes up. Why? Okay. We've got Florida, New Hampshire, and Wyoming. Bankrate Reddit. Florida, Louisiana, or Texas. Inc.com. I've never heard of them. 5 best states, best and worst states, Newsweek. Let's look at this one because it shows map. It says there's a map, and I like a map. Then there's this Market Watch one. Now let's try the Newsweek one. I don't know. And it really depends on what you're looking for, right? For me, and something that I've noticed, like with my mom living here in LA with me, our streets are not flat. Like there's like a tree stump growing up out of the sidewalk. So like it's all like gnarled. Like instead of like if this were flat, right, in my hand, it's like a gnarled tree coming up out of the sidewalk. So my mom She needs to use a walker. Sometimes she's using an electric wheelchair, but it's not like a smooth path. Like, some of the retirement communities, they have like a nice smooth path or a nice smooth walking trail. And we don't have that here in California, or at least not like where I'm at. Okay, what? Sure. Why is it? Let's close this giant ad. Okay. So a map shows the best and worst states to retire in, but does not appear to be loading. Okay. A new study by financial firm. Oh, this is the Bankrate article. That's interesting. So Newsweek is just regurgitating that article. Whatever. They've ranked every U.S. state on how good or bad it is for retirees, why it matters. But you likely already know this since you're asking. Choosing the right place to retire is essential for ensuring a comfortable, fulfilling, and financially stable life after work. A good retirement location can stretch your savings further through lower taxes and living costs while offering access to quality healthcare, something that becomes increasingly important with age. The right climate can boost physical and mental well being, and living in a safe, welcoming community helps prevent loneliness and isolation. Ultimately, where you retire plays a major role in shaping your lifestyle, health, and peace of mind throughout your later years. What to know to determine which state is the best to spend those post working years. Bankrate compared all 50 states across spanning 8 categories, including affordability, safety, healthcare, taxes, arts and entertainment, and people of a similar age. All right, there's the map. We're going to scroll down to the map really quick. What's the key? We've got these different colors, but we don't have. Now, Cindy, are you in Indiana now, or are you used to live in Indiana? Because Indiana's number 18. So already, just being there, you're a little bit better off than I am here in California. Texas is one of the worst. Louisiana is not great. I wonder why that is. Something that has like come on my radar recently is natural disasters. I'm wondering, right? Because Cindy, we've definitely talked about this before. Whenever there's fires here in California or floods in Louisiana, they all or tornadoes in Kansas, right? Anytime there's like a natural disaster, people that don't live there say things like, not all people, but some people that don't live there say things like, well, why were you living on a fault line anyway? Or why were you living so close to the water? Or why this, why that? You should have known, you shouldn't have lived there. But I've said this, in terms of my own life. When I bought this house, this is what I could afford. You know, you're taking a gamble, and knock on wood, for I've lived here now for 13 years. And before I lived here, I lived half a block away. There's never been, like, as a matter of fact, like, whenever there is an earthquake, I always feel pretty safe here. And honestly, like, my roof is pretty thin. I think I would be devastated if my house collapsed in on me, but I think like the whole roof could fall on me and I'd probably survive because I'm not doesn't weigh very much. Um, I feel safe where I am, but I'm wondering, are there places that don't have as many natural disasters? But it seems like every place has something. Correct me if I'm wrong, or let me know if you'd like me to look that up as well. Okay, Richard says, I live in Wisconsin. It's not a low cost of living state. And Cindy said, the Villages, Florida, 55 plus community is where my sister and brother and their families moved to. So yeah, and I'd be interested. Let's look at the Villages in Florida in a second. Florida and Palm Springs, both of those two, warmer climates are supposed to be better for older people. And I will say, like, you guys, it is like 70. I'm gonna tell you what the temperature is here in California right now. Okay. It's 79 degrees right now where I live. My mom And granted, it is, it's 11:30 AM here. So, but my mom is waking up and falling asleep with her electric blanket. She's still cold. Obviously it's colder later and earlier, but she's cold enough that she's falling asleep with an electric blanket. So, having a nice warm climate, I think is important. Okay, so warm climate, one that doesn't have too many natural disasters, one where um you have access to good doctors. And something else that they say about Florida is that most of the doctors there, it's not exactly that they specialize in care for the elderly, but because so many elderly people move there, they have a higher percentage of elderly patients and therefore can potentially give better care to the elderly since the percentage of patients that are elderly is just higher there. Um, And I have a chiropractor out here, and I was asking him about, like, seeing my mom, and he said, there's some retirement community that he lives right by, and he said, "Oh, yeah, I see all these people." And he said, "If you were going to a chiropractor that primarily treats college athletes, their approach is gonna be much more aggressive and much more intense than my approach because I'm used to working with, like." It's one of those it has, like, the giant, like, world symbol on the outside. I think they're, like, a national kind of 55 plus community chain. What did he call it? Anyway, so he primarily treats people that are from there, so he's gentler was his point, I think. Okay, Cindy says, "Tornadoes in most of the Midwest are overrated unless you live in states like Oklahoma and that area. There are not a lot of natural disasters in Indiana, but it's humid and January and February are cold." All right. And also, Cindy, probably, right, if you have family already in Florida, that's if like, I think that that's a really good resource, right? Like, I live here, my mom lives here, she lives with me now, but we have extended family in Georgia, and it would be really nice to have that extra help from other family members just to, like, maybe take her to a doctor's appointment or take her out, the isolation factor to, like, take her out for dinner or something on a night when I'm working. So I think family is really important. So if you already have family there, hopefully that's a strong contender, or wherever maybe your husband's family is, if he has family, could be good. Okay. So the best places to retire according to this article said New England takes 3 of the top spots in the best 5, but Western states also got a look in. The top 5 best places are: New Hampshire is at number 1, offering a good blend of affordability and quality of life. Though it scores poorly on weather, so I wouldn't like that. The state excels in neighborhood safety, first, healthcare, fifth, local taxes, sixth, and senior population, seventh. Maine follows closely with strong marks in safety, second, healthcare, third, arts, fourth, though it also scores low for weather at 41st. Wyoming ranks highest for taxes and is fourth in affordability, but its healthcare ranking is 39th as a notable weakness. Vermont wins in arts and healthcare, both first, and already boost a high senior population, second, but is weighed down by affordability, 12th, and poor weather, 43rd. Idaho closes out the top 5, scoring well in safety, third, affordability, ninth, taxes, 11th, but ranks low in arts and senior population. The worst places to retire. See what those are. Louisiana ranks last overall. It falls short in nearly every category, including affordability, 43rd, safety, 48th, and healthcare, 37th, with high crime rates and a weather rank of just 39th, despite ample sunshine. Texas ranks 49th, excelling only in taxes, while scoring last in healthcare and near bottom in affordability and weather. Oklahoma offers strong weather, 13th, but ranks poorly in affordability, 45th, and healthcare, 41st. Arkansas does well in weather, but underperforms in safety, arts, and healthcare. Finally, Nebraska lands 46th due to its extremely high homeowners insurance cost, ranking 49th in affordability, despite average scores in most other categories. Retirees and pre retirees should take notice of these rankings because we looked beyond the typical categories and looked closely at important lifestyle and risk factors for residents of various states. There is more to being a resident than just the number of sunny days and taxes. Categories like public safety, walkability, which is what I was saying, access to healthcare, air quality, recreational opportunities, and more add up to the daily quality of life retirees want. But here's the thing, anywhere that gets icy, ooh, it's Hello Kitty Day. Ooh, the Dodgers, Tuesday, August 5th. Hmm, I want that. I don't need that. What is wrong with me? Don't look at this ad. What happens is that you see an ad and then it tries to give you some stuff that you don't need. Okay. So let's look at the specific let's look at that, the villages. Okay, Cindy says Texas is where my husband family lives. So guess where we are moving? It's going to be Texas, I'm guessing. Um, this does say that it's not great for retirees in Texas. According to the map, it's one of the worst. So maybe you could convince everybody to move over to Florida. So Florida's 41st, Texas is 49th. I'm just gonna Google. Now let me Google something else first. New Hampshire. We're gonna look at a site called Redfin, and Redfin's like a real estate thing. I like to see. We're gonna buy in New Hampshire. Oops. Oh my goodness. Sure. New Hampshire. Come on. Okay. Oh no. They're currently the median list price in New Hampshire is 575,000. That seems like too much. Even this. So Nashua, New Hampshire, because this was the number one place, right? That it said. But this place, the siding on that house does not look great. This house, this house looks the nicest to me. And it's also the cheapest. So I must be missing something here. I was basically trying to see if you could get like a nice house for cheaper than in California. And honestly, like maybe not. Okay, I also like this wood house. New 16 minutes ago. So this is like a little cabin. Maybe this is too rustic, maybe. That bathroom. Fascinating. It's a little dingy. Oh no. They've got their bedroom in the living room with a portable air conditioning and a fan. So that seems probably not good. And this price is a bit expensive. So, like, I would want, so my goal one day would be to sell my current house and move somewhere where I can buy something nicer for less money. Now, this looks like, I mean, this is just like the cutest house I've ever seen in my life with this picture. This picture looks like AI. Okay, then we've got the patio, nice kitchen. Oops, uh-oh. I haven't been sharing. Share this tab instead. Okay, here we go. So nice kitchen. Did you guys see the weird wood house, or was my screen not sharing properly? Okay. Yeah. Okay, kitchen area, cute. China cabinet, cute little yard. Nice bathroom, nice bedroom. I don't know what this is. Ooh, little sunroom. But like this house is really cute. But I don't know if it's really that affordable. Look at that. That seems like an AI generated photo, basically. But this house is, yeah, wood beam ceilings. Me too. Um, yeah, super cute house, but it's not cheap. That house is 599,000, which that's not really that much cheaper than California. Now, I didn't realize how close that was to Canada. Anyway, so that's the number one rated area, but to me, these houses don't look housing doesn't look that affordable to me there. At least not a nice house. There and this one, let's look at the cheap house real quick. Share this tab instead. Oh no. This house needs a little work. Oh, this linoleum floor, weird ceiling. Oh, this house. Somebody lived their whole life there, though. You know? Oh, it's a whole lifetime worth of belongings. I actually like windows like this and the skylights. This could be cute. It just needs like a little pizzazz. It needs a lot of cleaning. Is this a plumbing or electrical problem? This washer dryer looks perhaps like someone doesn't look safe to me. But this house is affordable. Oh my god, I do this too. The water heater. They installed it 1/20/2020. Um, is that a thing that everybody does? I write down the date of my water heater installation so that I can kind of keep an eye on, when it might need done again. And that front door needs some work. The houses on either side look nice though. That's important too. Like, so this house is run down. The left house looks nice. And from what I can tell, the house on the right looks nice too. So that kind of thing's important. But yeah, the houses seem expensive. You prefer a small house. Yeah, my house is small because there's less to take care of. And that's on this house that's small. This house, by the way, is 235,000. But it would need like to be fixed up. Oh, thanks, JJ Paranormal. Good for popping in. Richard says, I prefer a house under 1,000 square feet. Yeah, and that's how mine is also. My house, I have 638 square feet here in California. It's certainly easy to keep clean, less to worry about. And also, this house in New Hampshire looks like it has a small yard. Okay, but let's look at the villages in Florida. How much? Why is it caps? How much is a house in the villages in Florida? Oh, now see, that doesn't seem bad. Okay. So, Cindy, we're looking at the villages in Florida, and the AI overview says the median listing is around 375,000. Prices can range from the low 200,000 to over a million. Well, that's over a million's no good. The median listing was 374.5 thousand. That was a year ago though. That was a decrease. Let's look at that. Buy and sell the villages. Now, see, these look cute. 262,000. This one is not in my price range. Oh, it backs up to a lake, but that might not be good. This means the alligators come right up to your door if you're too close to the lake. Probably not. Okay, so this one's cute for 389,000. And also, I'm going to say that this is a lot cheaper than I thought it would be in that area. Let's go back to this cheap one. That's just under, I mean, it's $262,000. Share this tab instead. Yeah, yeah. Ugh, what? I don't want to personalize my home search, but okay. If you're going to make me, let's do it. Oh my goodness, continue. See, if you're on Redfin, it does not make you do all this. Yeah, yeah. I don't want to. Do I have to? Oof. Okay. Well, we're going to try something else then. Because that's annoying. All right. Let's go back to Redfin and see. The Villages, Florida. I should have just done that to begin with. I really think they're AIing their photos. This house is gorgeous for 409,000. 279. Okay, here's another incoming. This one's really cute. This was 279,000 on Zest. 199 homeowners association. Honestly, that's not bad. Maybe me and my mom should move here. Because these are all really cute. And they're different enough. Sorry, I'm just looking at all the houses now. Okay. We'll look at a specific one in a second. This one has is this supposed to look like a cross? That weirds me out a little bit, but whatever. 245,000. This one's the one that keeps catching my eye. So we're going to look at this one really quick. But I'm also going to share something. HOAs are, you won't live in a state that has alligators. I mean, I don't want them to come knocking on my door and crawling up the door either. And HOAs are way too restrictive. You know what? Here's the thing. I think most of what they would get on me about is gardening. Like, I'm not planning on like putting a flag out in my front yard because even if I thought that there was one that was cute or a cause that I wanted to support, I'm too lazy to get out there and like change it and like mount it and all of that. Like, I just want like a nice, easy home, which is why a smaller one, right? I'm not out there trying to do all of that with it. I just want to move in and forget about the outside as much as I possibly can, unless something is structurally wrong with it. Or I guess the homeowners association might make you paint it, but hopefully they have like a maintenance guy that they can send over. So it said that the HOA was only $199. So let me add this back. Sometimes there's comments on these as well. This house is super cute. Cottages. Okay, this home is popular. Yada yada. Look at this little bedroom. I used to always want a canopy bed when I was younger. Oh wait, my home tip before This is not a home tip, it's actually a car tip. So before we dig deeper, I learned this from a coworker. I've never actually done it, but I think it's so, so smart. Okay, so one of these houses, they had a picture of a car in the front yard, right? But like Cindy said, most of the mode of transportation is going to be by golf cart. So, where was that picture with that car? Basically, like, the car looks like it kinda has not been driven in a while. I didn't I saw it earlier, now I don't see it. Okay, so basically the advice is to go to one of these towns where people just are not driving their car very often anymore, and see if you can buy one of the cars for them, and then drive it back. So he would fly to Florida, he would, um buy somebody's car from, like, an older person who wasn't driving it. He said that normally they're really low mileage and that people, like, probably have taken good care of them, but, like, they're probably also just driving from, like, the villages to the grocery store at the most, and, from there, they are, then they're not driving anymore, and you can get their car for a good deal, low mileage and taken good care of, and then he buys the car from Florida and he drives it back to California, and then that's his car. He says he's gotten really, really, really good deals that way, and it makes perfect sense to me, and he says he gets it for less than he could buy it used here in California. Richard says HOAs are like rent, they only go up. Okay, let's look at the comments in, on this house, right? Because a lot of times it will tell you. Okay, so this charming patio villa located in the village of Rio Ponderosa has an open concept living room. Updates include laminate flooring in the living room and kitchen, stainless steel appliances, HVAC. The roof is was done in oh sorry, the HVAC was in 2018 and the roof is 10 years old. All interior lighting, fans, and doors have been replaced, and a new bath with walk-in shower was done around 6 years ago. Location is the key with this home. It's been on Redfin for 10 days. 199 a month HOA dues. That does not seem high to me. It says it's a 9 out of 100. It says it's very car dependent. Are those little bodies of water? It looks like there's a little pool. There's the house. How do you get out to get to the pool? Let's see. The payment calculator, 1,000, sorry, not 100, 1,553 a month, and that's with a down payment of 41,000 and an interest rate of 6.88%. That's not too bad. I would probably buy it in cash. It last sold in 2011 for about half what they're asking for now. It's a 43% chance of flood, so that's, almost a 50-50 chance. It's showing us some comparable homes. It says it's got good rental potential, but I don't even know. Oh, here's the car that I was saying, like, I bet you could get this car for a steal, this Toyota. Look, it looks like it has not been driven very frequently, right? I bet if they're selling the house, I bet you could get that car for a deal too. Oh, I'm not sharing it. Here we go. There's the car I was looking at. Um, it looks to me like the HOA fees a high monthly amenity fee. Let's try and find that out because I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing, hi Debbie, we already did the movies. Are you what about Debbie, do you do body horror? If you do, check out Together. probably like this year's The Substance, but a little bit different. And then for comedy, people are liking The Naked Gun. And then my mom and I are going to see Freakier Friday. We just watched the original this past week at home. So yeah, so next week we'll be watching um Freakier Friday, or maybe not next week, but the next time we go to the movies, it will probably be to see Freakier Friday. Okay. What did I just say I was gonna look up? I was gonna try and look up the amenity fees because I'm not if it's 199 a month, like here in California, it is not. Oh, did you like that? I now you know I don't do horror, but back when I was younger, I could. Oh, you're giving it 2 thumbs up. Okay, perfect. Um, I love all that cast, right? I grew up with all those people, Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. and all of those people. And I love that there is Freddie Prinze Jr. back in this one. I don't know, but Jennifer Love Hewitt is. I love her. Love the movies. Okay, so anyway, at least from what I know, 199 a month, while it's not like ideal, and I do agree with Richard, they just go up those HOA fees. Here in California, it is not uncommon to see HOA fees between like 199 would be fine. But here you see them I think I've seen them as high as like $1,200. And I was recently looking at this place in an area called Playa Vista, which they also call like Silicon Beach. Um, and like the HOA fees, I was like, oh, maybe that's not that bad, but they're like $400. And I would say like a $400 HOA fee in California is like not that bad. And what in California you're getting for that is like an access to a community pool. I know here in California, I think the HOA fees are supposed to no, I'm thinking condos. With a condo, they take care of like landscaping and anything like your exterior walls, things like that. Okay, um let's go. We're gonna Google. Debbie, are you gonna do the Naked Gun? Because that's another one that everybody's been watching this week. Okay. We also looked at the jobs report a little bit, but it was not a shocker to me that it's rough to get a job right now. Okay. Ba, 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 ba. How much? Oh, no. This is not the one I want to change. Okay, this one. Yeah. Okay. Amenity fees in the village. It knows. No, this is not that bad from what I can tell. All right. What? I'm sorry. What is the 80/20 rule? Hmm. I'm ready to move now. Simply put, the 80/20 rule means that 80% of the units in the community must have at least one resident age 55 plus. Other residents of those units can be any age, and the other 20% of units can be any age, but the majority must have available primarily for older individuals. Ooh, why are people leaving the villages? Okay, we'll look at that in a second. But this is apparently what they get. This sounds not that bad. Oh my goodness, look at this. They're having so much fun in this photo. This man's about to do like the funky chicken dance. I'm sure of it. I don't know if he means to be about to do that at the villages. Debbie, I'm not, I mean, maybe one day. No, I'm not moving. But Cindy was saying that that was someplace she has family that lives there. And she was asking about like good retirement states. And it's been a minute since I've looked at that. You need a car for long drives or outside, and they cover a lot like pools, clubs, pottery, book clubs. Yeah, honestly, like that seems like it doesn't seem like a bad deal to me. Okay. Let's read everything that they get. You better show this to your husband. Um, you can enjoy all the recreation, executive golf trails, and more. Oh, executive golf and comma trails, not executive golf trails, and more throughout the villages for a low monthly amenity fee. Learn how affordable it is for you to come join the fun. Free executive golf. Play for free on all our executive golf courses with a small trail fee. To use your golf car. Okay. So they're going to charge you a fee to use your golf car. Okay. Endless recreation, indoor and outdoor recreation, conveniently located throughout the community. Here they all are doing their water aerobics. What's up with this man in, oh no, it's a different man in orange. Okay. They look like they're having fun. Fun activities. Join a club, swim, exercise, volunteer, play pickleball, tennis, corn toss, bocce ball, and so much more. Maybe I'll send my mom there now. Healthy living. Enjoy the beautiful Florida climate year round and explore parks, dog parks, fishing areas, and trails. I'm ready to send my mom there right now. This is interesting. Okay, so 199 monthly amenity fee equals 400 activities and clubs, 46 executive golf clubs, and much more. Explore designer cost of living. Okay. Oh, all right. This actually tells you, huh? This tells you like the average fees for each series. Okay, patio villa series from the low 200s. Monthly amenity fee 199, trash collection 28, sewer 40, average water 30 to 40, average gas and electric 100 to 110, average insurance 120, average taxes 232, and average assessment 215. That does not, I mean, that seems about on par to me, honestly. Okay, gas is not available in all areas. That seems problematic. We need gas. Additional costs such as high-speed internet, lawn care, pest control, and other contracted service are not included in this estimate. Based on average sale price by series with homestead exemption, monthly costs will vary considerably depending on the size of a home and its usage, as well as the type and size of the home site it occupies. Costs are subject to change without notice. Two, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Okay, so this is in addition to the mortgage. Although a lot of times, like when you're looking at the mortgage price, I mean that seems doable to me. And I like that they're breaking that down. I mean, I'm not mad at it. And honestly, like, looks like a nice place for my mom. Villages House Hyatt. You know what? If you're a certain age and you want to go out and have fun, then go have fun. The villages have a lifestyle stay for a nice vacation. It is low cost. Yeah. Yeah, that's, I mean, honestly, like tennis courts, pickleball courts, golf, like it looks like a good deal to me, honestly. Like, and as so my mom lives with me. We're in Los Angeles, California. We're trying to find things for her to do. But guess what? I would glad if she wanted to like play golf. I would gladly pay like $50 a month for her to play golf. I would want to traffic is a nightmare in the villages. I wonder if you can get Instacart to the villages because I was thinking about that. Like if the weather or like, what if there's an alligator at your door so you don't want to go outside? Is there like somebody that will come remove the alligator if you live in the villages? But also, can I just send an Instacart man to get him like you deal with the alligator? Just drop those packages off, just pass the alligator and bring it right on my front porch. We gotta Google if they have alligators. I mean, it's Florida, right? Everywhere. Do alligators? I didn't spell that right. Go into the villages. Two alligators going to the villages of Florida. Oh, he went to the pool. Oh, no. We don't love this. Okay. He went swimming, you guys. Oh, no, he's in the pool. Oh, we don't no, that seems not good. That's gotta be fake, right? No, we don't love this. Let's go back. Oof. No, no, no. How did we get stuck on here? Oh my goodness. Okay. Alligators are present in the villages, Florida, and are a common sight due to the area's numerous lakes and ponds. These reptiles are a natural part of the ecosystem and can be seen basking on the banks or gliding through the water. While alligator attacks are rare, it's important to maintain a safe distance. Don't feed them. Well, okay. Well, here's why alligators are found around the villages. I mean, also the videos on it, the last one appears to be from 2024. Maintain a safe distance, be aware of your surroundings, supervise pets, and educate yourself. Mm, because they're drawn to the bodies of water. Okay. Let's go back to the article about why people are leaving the villages. I'm just curious because this honestly, that looks nice. Oh, cost of living. Oh, the new rate is 199. I wonder what it used to be. So it seems like they just recently increased, and they probably will continue to go up. But yeah, I don't know. Okay. Where let's see why people are leaving the villages. All right, Google. All right, let's see this article. Why are people leaving the villages in Florida? For many people, Florida is an ideal place to live, whether it's where they grew up, where they chose to go to college, or where they've chosen to retire. There are many different places throughout Florida for these people to settle, from the Keys to Tallahassee. Among the many possibilities, one frequent choice is the villages. At the same time, many people are choosing to leave the villages, leaving others to wonder why. Let's talk about it. Okay. Um, it's a census designated place. CDPs are a category of classification for a region where people live, but which isn't incorporated as a town, county, parish, borough, district, etc., or village. That's right. It's not a village. It's just a fun fact. It's located in Sumter and Marion counties, northwest of Orlando and south of Ocala and Gainesville. Practically speaking, it's a 32 square mile retirement home. It's master planned community with age restriction on residency. As of 2020, it has a population of 80,000 people, of which the majority are white, Black, Asian, Hispanic, and multiracial folks make up the bulk of the rest of the population. Oh, sorry. That's of the majority of white, Black, Asian, Hispanic, and multiracial folks make up the bulk of the rest of the population. Interestingly, the village is also home to the largest population of military veterans outside of military bases at 16.3%. One of the main attractions is golf. They have 42 executive courses, 14 championship courses, and much more. It's enough for a retiree to play every weekend and never get bored. Now, see, I don't think my mom, even with a golf cart, I'm not sure if she could do that. And like, I'm not sure if her hands would be good. Anyway, as a 55 plus community, it's aimed at primarily older individuals and follows the Housing Order Older Persons Act, or HOPA, which is allowed for the 80/20 rule, which we just read. Um, why is it that they're leaving? There's quite a few reasons. Everyone who leaves has at least one. So let's talk about the most common reason. It's billed as one of the best places in Florida, and indeed by some people in the world, to live out their lives in retirement. It is designed to be a place for older and elderly people from across the country to move when they're ready to settle down. What's going on there? A place with pleasant weather and none of the cold that makes life harder up north. A place with amenities close by and all of the resources necessary to care for them in their old age. A place with plenty of activities that aren't hard for people in advanced age. It was designed to offer it all. Reason number one, HOA rules and fees. That's the number one reason. It's a planned community designated for people 55 and up. In order to keep it that way, they need to implement and enforce a lot of rules. These rules are generally enforced by one of two big HOAs, the Property Owners Association and the Village Homeowners Association. Okay, so there's two. It's broken up into 13 districts, each with its own local committees, all under the general control of the Board of Villages. All of this is funded through a combination of property taxes, CDD fees, HOA fees, and user fees for the things like recreation facilities, water services, and more. All of this means that even if you own your home, you still have a ton of rules you have to abide by. Otherwise, you face penalties. Meanwhile, in addition to your property taxes, you're paying additional fees. The average fee is somewhere around 190 a month. Property taxes are low and there's no state sales tax, but in some ways the HOA fees make up for it. The fees do cover a lot. They cover the maintenance of the clubs, golf courses, and common areas. But when those amenities also have charges to use, it feels bad. Of course, it feels worse if you aren't using them. Some of the more frustrating rules include no ability to customize your home's appearance without approval, and the approval list is strict. No overnight street parking, which can be a huge hassle with people with families and common visitors. No unapproved yard decor, which can include basically anything. This can all chafe, especially with people who want to live in peace and they customize to suit their needs. If you dream of a permaculture or a miniature sculpture park, you aren't going to get it in the villages. Weather and bugs. Florida is Florida. Okay, I don't want to read all about the bugs, but apparently the bugs are super annoying. No nearby beaches. Well, I mean, so again, my mom she would have trouble like walking on the sand because it's not even. So I don't know. I don't know how important that is. Lack of high-end shopping and dining. They have everything you need in terms of food and shopping. It doesn't necessarily have everything you want. Dining tends to largely be chain restaurants or fast casual. Find distinct lack of high-end Michelin star high-class dining they might expect. I mean, that seems doable. Reason 5, golf carts required. In a community that is completely suffused with golf courses, it should be no surprise that golf carts are the primary mode of transportation. In fact, many of the roads to get to various places throughout the villages are roads meant for golf carts, not for cars. Cars are the way you get to and from the villages, but not around the villages, if you get what we mean. Okay. Now, for some people, the idea of being able to tool around on a golf cart all day is highly attractive. Others bought that nice sports car when they turned 50 and want to put every mile they can on it and will find it restrictive. There's also the fact that this compounds up with number 2. When it's really hot and humid, a golf cart isn't too much to help you keep comfortable the way a car with AC might. And when it rains, and it definitely rains, you're going to feel the lack of sides on that car. Not to mention the traction issues and the fact that your top speed will be about 20. So everybody must be all like doing their errands on the same day and watching the weather. And then there's limited specialized healthcare. The village is aimed at retirees and older individuals. So it has fairly good network of doctors' offices, urgent care clinics, and hospitals. But for specialized treatment, you're actually not going to be able to find the care you need in the villages. Things like major surgeries, cancer treatments, and other specialized procedures can only be done at facilities set up for them, and those are more commonly found down in Orlando or up in Gainesville. All right. So that is, I mean, it's great if you want somewhere warm or the idea of dealing with snow is a distant memory. You want to spend time with other retirees and empty nesters and don't want the disruption of children or teens around. You love spending time on a golf cart. You just can't get enough of it. You like living in a place where there are active nightlife and social events to attend any night of the year. You want relatively easy access to other places throughout Florida, like the coast, Orlando, or Tampa, but you don't want to live directly in one of them. You really love golf and you wish you could play a new course every week, and you want to live somewhere safe and peaceful. On the other hand, you might want to reconsider if You're under the age of 55, or you prefer hanging out with the younger crowd. You like multi generational communities. You tend to lead more left in your politics. The Villages is a largely Republican and is a frequent stop for politicians on the right in Florida. You prefer to live in a more diverse community. You don't want to have to drive 2 hours to get to the beach. But they're really selling this beach thing. You hate it when the temperature is over 80 degrees. You can't deal with mosquitoes. You need specialized medical care and you don't want to have to drive to get it. It has a lot to offer, but it takes a specific kind of person. See, so some of that is interesting because I feel like for the most part, me and my mom are pretty much homebodies and we just like, we stay in the house a lot, like, we're not going out a lot. It's nice to have it. I don't think my mom would utilize golf at all, but I don't know if you guys remember, but learning to play golf was on my, like, my vision board. That's something I would like to learn to do, but I think it's a lot of walking. The board for the villagers watch the alligator problem, so it's not a problem. They don't cause much of a problem. That's awesome. So that's worth my 199 fee right there is to they'll take care of getting rid of the alligators. Richard says, just seeing an alligator would freak me out. I have a picture of me holding an alligator when I went, to New Orleans as a touristy thing. It's probably not like ethically good to hold an alligator, but I did it. Okay. Cindy says, from what I've seen, the rules exist for residents to complain about. There are people who are bored, so they look for things. Oh, yeah. Now that my mom would like. All right, you guys. I actually had fun looking into this. We do need to look at other countries. And Cindy, next week, if you want to tell me, don't get too specific, but if we want to look in Texas to see like what areas that your husband is suggesting, what they might have in terms of something comparable to this, we can definitely look into that. But honestly, like that was not as expensive as I would have expected for everything that you get there. And like the idea of a golf cart, like my mom, she not in her car anymore. She got rid of her truck when she moved in here. And my streets are too narrow, and I think golf carts aren't, like, actually legal to drive in, but she would love the freedom of having a golf cart to, like, get around in, and you just don't do your errands when it's raining. Seems okay to me, so and it seems like there's lots of properties that you could buy there, like, seems good to me, honestly, like, I was a little bit surprised at, 1, the affordability of the properties, and yeah, it's an HOA fee, 199, but honestly, like, I'm not trying to change the outside of my house, I'm not. I just go buy it as is and leave it. Why would I don't need to spend extra money. I don't need to put little tchotchkes in my yard. I will say that my mom and I have started, gardening, and we have the garden largely in the front yard, which that might not be allowed in an HOA. They normally don't allow. Okay. We'll look near Dallas. I feel like there's an area, Denton, Texas, that's not too far from Dallas, so we can look at that next time. All right. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and thank you guys so much for watching Shelly's Millions. I'll see you next time. All right. Next week near and around Dallas.